I am the most gifted disciple in the Immortal Trials. By all logic, I should become Ethan Shen's disciple, his only female disciple. But in the fate mirror, I saw my future. Ethan Shen loosing an arrow through my heart and digging out my core, just to help the woman he loves grow immortal bones. Right now, everyone is waiting for me to choose my master. I bend my knee and kneel before the most useless elder of the Everlasting Sect, Logan. Master, please accept your disciple's bow. The last stage of the Immortal Trial is to pass through the Fate Mirror. The Fate Mirror is the Everlasting Sect's treasured artifact. Anyone with talent can see their own future within it. The greater the talent, the more they can see. Most people only glimpse a single instant, so brief there's no time to react. That's why the Everlasting Sect has never feared exposing too much of fate. When I open my eyes, I find myself bound. I'm nailed to a massive milky white sky-reaching pillar. My white robes are soaked in blood, an immortal binding chain winds around my body, and 4 soul-extinguishing nails pierce my hands and feet. Below the pillar, cultivators in Everlasting Sect uniforms glare up at me with righteous fury. They call me Demon Girl. I hear myself protest. No, I'm not. I drew the Demon Lord's blood only to save my master. Master. I can't see my own expression clearly, but I know that the me in the mirror isn't lying. I must have suffered a tremendous injustice. As my voice falls, a figure appears on the horizon. White robes, ink-black hair, fairy-like bearing. It's Ethan Shen. So Ethan is my master. He's always been upright and unbending. Surely he'll clear my name. I'm just about to breathe a sigh of relief when in the next second, a long sword shimmering with icy light suddenly runs straight through my chest. The me in the mirror is stunned beyond belief. So am I. Master, I hear myself say in shock. You knew why I did it. Ethan lowers his gaze, voice calm and emotionless. That was not my intent. But Iris cannot cultivate immortal bones. She needs your core. Don't worry. Once. The rest cuts off abruptly. I'm flung out of the fate mirror. I'm back on the Immortal Trial Plaza. Around me, whispers rise. She's out. To stay half a breath in the fate mirror, this one's future is limitless. Look, it's immortal Ethan Shen. Is he finally going to take a disciple? The noise cuts off at once. Then, in the empty sky, a man slowly appears. White robes, ink-black hair, clear and distant as frost. This is Ethan Shen, who accepts a disciple only once every 50 years. With Ethan's appearance, the elders from the other peaks of the Everlasting Sect show themselves one by one. A man lounging on the far left even has the leisure to yawn and drink. I slowly lift my gaze and meet Ethan's eyes. The elder in charge of selection says approvingly, "You practice the sword, and Ethan's swordsmanship has been unmatched for 100 years. You and he are the most suitable match." High in the air, Ethan also slowly removes a jade pendant. The next instant, I suddenly drop to both knees. I kneel toward Logan, the wastrel immortal still drinking. Master, please accept your disciple's bow. Silence falls. Everyone thinks I've gone mad. Ethan Shen is a once-in-a-century sword prodigy, taking disciples only once every 50 years. Logan, on the other hand, hasn't even formed a golden core. He's an honorary elder of Forge Peak, living off the battle merits his father earned with his life. According to Immortal Trial rules, the top 3 cannot be refused by any elder they choose. Logan's phoenix eyes lift slightly. He gives me a lazy glance, says nothing, and flicks something toward me. I catch it on reflex. It's the wine gourd he was just drinking from. Apprentice gift. The moment I accept the so-called apprentice gift, a golden master-disciple seal forms between us. So fast the other elders don't even have time to react. After a short silence, Ethan slowly withdraws his hand. From high in the void his voice drifts down, cold to the extreme. Foolish. Ethan has always been as distant as a banished immortal. This is the first time his emotions have shown so plainly. Thanks to this, my name spreads like wildfire. Wherever I go, fingers point. She's the one who turned down immortal Ethan Shen and chose that useless man as her master. She doesn't look like much. She really thinks she's something? Sure, staying half a breath in the fate mirror is impressive, but she's just in foundation establishment. She missed Ethan Shen. How far can her cultivation really go? Exactly. Every disciple Ethan's trained is famous across the realm. What a pity for that apprenticeship slot. Immortal Ethan Shen only takes a disciple once every 50 years. Now they'll have to wait 50 more. I treat it like wind in my ears and bury myself in books every day. I can't help it, my master's too useless. Forge Peak only has me as a disciple. After bringing me back, Logan tossed me the key to the library pavilion, told me to cultivate on my own, and then vanished to nap who knows where. Forge Peak lies far from the main peak. The spiritual energy is pitifully thin and full of impurities, completely unsuitable for cultivation. Only on the 1st and 15th of each month, when I go to the main peak to collect supplies, can I steal a bit of decent spiritual energy. The rest of the time, to kill the hours, I hole up in the library pavilion, chewing through books, so the whole sect thinks I'm wasting my talent. Some sneer, some sigh with pity. Others place bets on how long it'll take before I crawl to Ethan on my knees begging him to take me back. They wait and wait for my tears and pleas. Instead, they get the news that Ethan has taken another disciple. Whenever an elder takes a disciple, a master-disciple imprint forms. The higher the master's cultivation, the brighter it shines. The day Ethan takes a disciple, golden light floods the main peak. I happen to be there for supplies and get bathed in spiritual energy. When I finish meditating and step out, the plaza is packed. In the center, a young girl speaks in a clear, bright voice. "I'll answer your questions later, all right? Master told me to pick up some things and hurry back." As soon as she speaks, more sighs of envy rise. The crowd parts of its own accord. A girl in a pale yellow dress, hair in twin drooping buns, skips up the steps, straight toward me. She tilts her head at me, her face all innocent sunshine. "They say that half a year ago, you refused to enter Master's tutelage. I thought you must be some peerless genius. I didn't expect, after half a year, you're still just in mid-foundation." I stare at her, puzzled. I have no idea where this random hostility comes from. Behind her, someone calls out, "Iris, don't bother with her. She's just trash." So what if she was first in the Immortal Trial? Once she went to Forge Peak, her path of cultivation was as good as over. But you're different, Iris. They say Immortal Ethan Shen dotes on you very much. My heart sinks slightly. I roll the name Iris around in my mouth twice. Rumor has it that not long ago, Ethan came down the mountain, casually enlightened an iris plant, and that it took human form. A lively, spirited girl who pestered Ethan to make her his wife. He refused several times. She pretended to accept this, then secretly followed him to the Everlasting Sect. Bullied by outer disciples and crying about it, she was saved in person by Ethan and brought back. I know Ethan treats his disciples well, and judging by the fine details in the fate mirror, I must have given everything to him. Yet to give Iris immortal bones, he still cuts out my core. With who Ethan is, he couldn't possibly have failed to notice Iris tailing him. He merely allowed it. One could even say he indulged it. This little bit of scandal clearly delights Iris. She smiles with narrowed eyes for a while, then pulls a 7-string glass zither from her storage ring. Her jade-white fingers brush the strings. Then she says brightly, "These 7 strings each come from the heart fur of the 7 ancient ferocious beasts. As for the zither frame..." She pauses, her gaze sweeping over my bare waist. "I heard that on the day of the Immortal Trial, the jade pendant Master meant to give you was made of profound ice, extremely rare. But this zither of mine, every part of it is profound ice." I get it. She's here to show off. I glance at her, then at the faces in the plaza, eyes shining, waiting eagerly for a catfight. After a moment of silence, I school my features into seriousness and ask in the tone of an academic discussion, "Then tell me in detail. What exactly is the origin of this profound ice? Which beasts did each of the 7 strings come from? And where did your master get such a treasure?" I have a reason for asking. Iris is loaded with treasures. The spiritual energy surrounding her is practically viscous. I've been stuck at mid-foundation for a while. Just standing near her, I can feel the faintest loosening of that bottleneck. I'm leading her on just to stay near her a bit longer. Who knows, I might break through. My goal is very simple. Who knew Iris would stiffen, eyes going moist and red in an instant? She stomps her foot hard and snaps, voice shrill. "You think you know so much? What right do you have to humiliate me?" No, seriously. What's wrong with you? Lost in the feeling of being humiliated, Iris doesn't even pick up her supplies. She spins around and runs, crying out as she goes, "Just you wait. At the next Immortal Trial, I'll make you my defeated underling." I'm dumbfounded. Heaven knows, now that I know she'll be Ethan's future immortal partner, I don't even think about revenge. Our power gap is far too big. I only want to keep a respectful distance. How did I end up offending her out of nowhere? I trudge back to Forge Peak, spirits low, when a shadow suddenly falls in front of me. Before I can react, someone snatches away the supplies I just collected. Logan dumps everything out, counts the spirit stones twice, then curls his lip in disgust. Those old fossils on the main peak are getting tighter and tighter. I'm speechless. Master, at least leave some for me. He ignores me, rummages around again, then says in surprise, "What's this?" As soon as he speaks, a butterfly flutters out and turns into a line of script in midair. Immortal Trial Notice. Participant: Isabella Zhao. I go pale. No wonder Iris was talking big. She must have gotten the notice already and is planning to slap my face at the trials. Logan couldn't care less. He pockets the spirit stones and turns to leave. I instantly throw myself around his leg, begging and pleading, swearing he has to help me so I don't die too miserably. Logan spreads his hands. You've seen our peak's condition. I truly want to help, but I'm powerless. I sob, Master, you're at least an elder. Just give me a few magical artifacts. The main peak disciples are all out for blood. I'm afraid I won't see tomorrow's sun. Then just surrender. But if I place, I'll get spirit stones as a reward. I'm too poor. The spirit stones from the main peak never make it to my hands. In 3 months we'll enter a secret realm, and I want to save up for some defensive talismans. Sure enough, Logan's eyes light up. How many spirit stones? I hold up 5 fingers, think about it, and fold 2 down. Anyone who makes it into the top 100 gets 300 top-grade spirit stones. For each extra opponent you defeat, you get another 100. It's actually 500, but I can't give him everything. 300 is decent. Logan thinks a moment, then tosses me a key from his storage pouch. This is the key to the armory pavilion I've been hoarding. Take your pick. Logan's tone is so grandly generous that on my way to the armory pavilion, my heart thrums with excitement. I picture all kinds of treasures. I open the door. A wave of mold hits my nose. My right eyelid jumps hard. I'm a fool, truly. I knew Forge Peak was poor, but not this poor. Armory Pavilion. Listen to that. So lofty, you'd think it housed untold wonders. In reality, the pavilion is just a tiny wooden hut draped in cobwebs. The so-called magical artifact is a single pitch-black sword covered in rust. The hilt is as thick as both my arms together, and the whole thing is ridiculously heavy. I have every reason to believe Logan fished it from a trash pile and stuck it here just to trick me. Most sword cultivators at my level already have personalized swords, either extremely powerful or extremely beautiful. My sword is neither. If I take it out, I'll probably make people laugh out their teeth. Still, something is better than nothing. From that day, I officially start training with the sword. The cultivation method is patched together from various texts in the library pavilion. The techniques come from a move here, a stance there. I can't even lift the 200-kilogram blade properly. The thing I do most every day is swing it from my right side to my left, then back again. I call it sword dancing. I've no idea if it's useful, but my biceps have definitely grown. Time flies. In a month, the Immortal Trial begins. In the first round, I run into my sworn enemy, Jason Zhao, from my own clan, the House Zhao. Both of us from immortal cultivating families. The difference? He's main branch. I'm a minor offshoot. In terms of cultivation talent, Jason really doesn't have much, but you can't beat a rich father. As soon as he steps onto the stage, he lays out an array of treasures, defensive talismans, formation compasses, and of course the sword I've been coveting for ages. There's a collective gasp from the crowd. Jason Zhao's ruthless. Isabella Zhao is still clan. Does he have to go this far? You don't know? Jason's been hanging around Iris lately. Oh, I see. Look at Isabella, so calm. Does she have a plan? Under everyone's gaze, I slowly draw my greatsword from my storage pouch. Sure enough, they laugh out their teeth. Especially Jason, his laughter is like an old madam's cackle. He's doubled over, can't straighten up. Ha ha ha, Isabella, you're shaking so hard your sword is trembling. I frown. The sword is trembling, true, but it's not my hands, it's humming on its own. I don't have time to think about it. Jason charges at me. I hop back 2 steps and, acting on instinct, swing the sword the way I always practice. From my right side to the left. Turns out once you're used to it, it's not that hard to wield. The tip hasn't even hit the ground when Jason flies like a broken kite, slamming into the marble platform and coughing up blood. "You, Isabella." The crowd is stunned. Did any of you see her move clearly? What move? She swung once and blew Jason off the stage. Terrifying, and she's using that busted iron sword. Imagine her with a real artifact. No wonder she placed first in the Immortal Trial. Talent really is everything. While everyone whispers and stares at me, none of them notice the broken iron sword in my hand is wildly drinking in the spiritual energy from Jason's artifacts. By the time he staggers up to collect his things, limping, he finds all those treasures he'd spent a fortune on have gone completely dead. I cut down opponent after opponent and fight my way into the top 50. Maybe it's my imagination, but the rust on the greatsword seems thinner now. Faint, strange runes show beneath it. I've got no time to worry about that. I'm busy counting spirit stones until my fingers cramp. For a poor disciple of Forge Peak like me, it's the giddy joy of a sudden windfall. Just then, a shadow falls across me. Iris, in a moon-white robe and surrounded by admirers, lands in front of me and says sweetly, "I want to challenge her." As she speaks, the 7-string zither in her hand trembles as if nodding. By the rules, those ranked higher can challenge those below. Iris is in the top 20, so of course she can challenge me, and I can't refuse. She gives me a bright smile again. "I thought you didn't deserve to be my opponent, sister. Didn't expect you'd be this capable." There it is again, that feeling. As she draws close, it's like I'm wrapped in dense spiritual energy. I squint with pleasure and happily accept Iris's challenge. The reason is simple. It's harder for spirit plants to cultivate than human cultivators, and I'm the Immortal Trial champion. Even with poor conditions afterward, victory after victory has inflated my confidence. Even if I can't beat her, spending more time close to her and soaking up her spiritual energy is great. And I might not lose to her. That's what I think. Then in just 2 moves, Iris sends me flying, her soft boots stamped down on my face. That gentle, innocent face is twisted with obsession. Master says I was born without a spiritual root. Even if I cultivate, I'll never form immortal bones. He doesn't say it outright, but I know. He's disappointed. That's a regret between us. But you, something I could never have, you get without even trying. And instead of cherishing it, you waste your talent, going to that useless man. In what way is he better than Master? But it's fine. Once I destroy your spiritual root, we'll be the same. No, you'll be worse than me. Master won't regret missing you. From then on, he'll only care about me. As she speaks, Iris plucks a string. Just one note, and my bones shatter. I vomit a mouthful of blood. The elders watching all notice this. They frown, but none intervene. The Immortal Trial disregards life and death. Even they can't interfere. This won't do. My mind races through every technique I've ever read in the library pavilion. I try them all, whether they make sense or not. I don't know at which point, but suddenly the greatsword in my hand gives a roaring hum. I lift my arm on instinct. A killing sword aura shoots straight at Iris. At the last possible second, pain lances through my wrist. The sword flies from my hand. The taut string in my head snaps. I struggle to look up and catch a blurred white figure breaking through the barrier and wrapping Iris in his arms. Ethan. Damn Ethan. I almost get beaten to death by his precious Iris, and he plays dead. The moment I hit back once, he rushes in and half kills me. "You little piece of trash. Can't take what you dish out, can you?" I hit the ground hard. Just before unconsciousness takes me, I lift my hand toward them and stubbornly stick up my middle finger. When I wake again, the room is bright and clean, warm as spring. For a blissful instant, I think I've reached the southern heaven gate. Then I turn my head and see Ethan drinking tea by the bed. I immediately wish I could gouge my own eyes out. "You're awake," Ethan says without turning. "I have some questions for you." I move experimentally and find all my damaged meridians restored. I sit up. "What is it?" He nods toward the rusty greatsword beside him and gets straight to the point. "This is an evil sword. It can devour the spiritual energy of artifacts. There are 49 seals within it. Thanks to you, one has now been broken." My eyes go wide. My heart hurts. "So that's what you are, greatsword. I treated you like a brother, and you treated me like a petri dish." I narrow my eyes at Ethan. "Why tell me this? I don't know anything about it." I haven't forgotten the scene in the fate mirror, everyone calling me demon girl and wanting to burn me. He pauses, then says helplessly, I know you were unaware. I brought you back because I feared the sword's evil chi would infect you. But that it appeared in the Everlasting Sect at all means someone placed it here. You'll stay here for now. When we find who's behind it, I'll send you back. He speaks like some paragon of public-minded justice. As if he weren't the one who, in the fate mirror, framed me as a demon and cut out my core to give Iris immortal bones. Ethan finishes and moves to leave. I sneer. Immortal? You're just gonna walk away like that? He stops, glances at me with a strange expression, as if to say, you dare speak to me like this? Immortal, I say, you sided with your disciple and ignored my life, though I'm your sectmate. That's a moral failing. Don't you think you owe me compensation? There were reasons. It was because of the evil sword that I don't care. You hurt me. What if it leaves a heart demon and ruins my cultivation? He falls silent for a long time, then says slowly, What do you want? I shake my storage pouch. You took my sword, injured me, and are detaining me by force, ruining my chances in the Immortal Trial. This doesn't make sense without at least 1,000, no, 10,000 top-grade spirit stones. Ethan tosses me a pouch, face blank. There are 50,000 inside. I catch it with a grin, then add, I might be from remote, shabby Forge Peak, but my master Logan only has me as his disciple. He gives me the best of everything. Since I'll be here a while, I expect the same. Ethan gives me a doubtful look. I rush on, you don't believe me? Ask my master, send him a message. A vein throbs in his forehead at some thought, but in the end he nods. You won't be treated poorly in food or clothing. As for lodging, his face is still expressionless. Azure Wave Peak's best place is my Bamboo Whisper Pavilion. If you don't mind, I'll have a room prepared for you there. Before I can answer, he vanishes in a blink, as if afraid I'll make more outrageous demands. In truth, I have no desire to live near Ethan. But when I see Iris's face turn stormy, like she wants to tear me apart, my mood lifts. I raise my voice for the attendants tidying my room. Hurry, don't keep immortal Ethan waiting too long. And just like that, I settle on Azure Wave Peak. I send a butterfly message to Logan, but he never replies. Seems he doesn't care whether his only disciple lives or dies. Fortunately, Azure Wave Peak has the densest spiritual energy in the Everlasting Sect. My days pass quickly as I indulge in cultivation. My only headache is I'm sitting cross-legged on a bamboo bed, just sinking into meditation, when Iris's sugary voice floats in from the courtyard. Master, this move is so hard. Can you teach me by hand? Woo, master. Why am I so stupid? I still can't get it after 3 tries. Expressionless, I open the door. There is Ethan, teaching Iris swordsmanship. His sharp moves turn soft and limp in her hands. With those dewy eyes of hers, it looks like some elaborate seduction. I almost laugh out loud. Does Ethan not have an allergy to stupidity? All his disciples till now have been peerless geniuses. This must be his first Iris. After watching the show for a bit, my fingers itch. I flick a twig up from the ground with my foot and leap in front of Iris. Junior sister, I'll spar with you. I entered the sect half a year before her, so calling her junior sister is perfectly fair. Iris wants to refuse. But I move too fast. My attacks are sharp and relentless, forcing her to respond. Half a quarter of an hour later, I press the twig against her throat and smile. You lose. In that moment, the humiliation of being stomped on by her boot finally dissolves. Iris is so furious her eyes go red. She throws her sword aside and whines, Master, she just used your moves. She stole your techniques. Drive her out. That's rich. Such a simple move needs stealing? You think everyone's as stupid as you? Iris's face turns from red to green. She's truly enraged now. Even her cute, pinched voice drops. She grabs her 7-string zither and lunges at me. The twig in my hand shatters to dust. Panicking, I glance back at Ethan and, without thinking, shove him out of the line of fire. That's enough, Iris. Don't make a scene. Ethan raises a hand to calm her, then throws me a cold look. There are many with talent in this world. Iris only awakened late. She may surpass you one day. Why humiliate her like this? Iris beams. Master's right. Isabella bullies me just because of her sword talent, but lots of people are talented. She doesn't have a master like you. What is there to be proud of? You're a once-in-a-century genius. She's nothing before you. She hasn't finished when my expression suddenly changes. Iris has been watching me closely. She snorts. What's wrong? Can't take a few words? Who's fragile now? I press my lips together and glance at Ethan, hesitating. Before I can speak, the clear sky turns dark. Heavy clouds roll in. In a few breaths, wind howls and thunder rumbles. The attendants around us blanch. What's happening? Why is the sky changing? Doesn't Azure Wave Peak have Immortal Ethan's barrier? It should be spring-like year-round. Has it failed? Impossible. He's in the soul transformation realm. Even Ethan's calm face shows a flicker of shock. He pushes Iris aside and closes his eyes, fingers flying through calculations. In a corner no one notices, I sit down and slip into meditation. The surrounding spiritual energy floods into me like a storm. I'm forming a golden core. When the first bolt of lightning slams into me, they all realize something's wrong. They stare at me in disbelief. Heavenly tribulation? Impossible. She's only forming a golden core. After a moment of surprise, Ethan throws a protective shield around me without a word. Iris grabs his sleeve in protest. Master, she's not even your disciple. Why protect her? His lips tighten. He studies me and says quietly, she's a child of fortune. When the second bolt falls, the other elders of the Everlasting Sect rush to Azure Wave Peak. They add more shields around me. Once they're sure I can withstand at least 3 bolts, they finally relax and eye me with uneasy curiosity. Usually a tribulation only comes at nascent soul. Only 2 people in history have drawn heavenly lightning at core formation. If I recall, the first was Nathan 500 years ago, that child of fortune, but he vanished after failing ascension a century ago. The second is you, Ethan. We thought this girl just had talent. Who knew she's also a child of fortune? Ethan, how many bolts did you take at your tribulation? They all know. The more bolts, the greater the talent and the deeper heaven's favor. Another boom. A third bolt crashes down. Ethan glances up at the roiling black skies, his tone slow. 3. Then she. Their looks grow more complex. I, meanwhile, am lost in my own sea of consciousness, enduring my meridians being washed again and again, a mix of agony and euphoria. After an unknown time, golden light suddenly blooms in my once dark dantian. I open my inner eyes to see a massive golden core hovering there, round and lustrous like a crystal sphere. It's my first time forming a core, but I've heard disciples describe it. Most are about the size of an egg. Mine is absurdly large. Now I finally understand why Ethan would cut out my core to give Iris immortal bones. I'm still absorbed in examining my dantian when noise filters through from outside. Move, my disciple's forming her core. As her master, how can I not be there to protect her? So what if I'm a waste? Isabella is still my disciple. Can I go cheer her on? That grating, duck-like voice. I open my eyes and see Logan, blocked by 2 attendants, scrambling like a monkey to squeeze into the crowd. And around them, over a dozen elders stare at me like I'm bargain meat at market. Isabella Zhao, interested in changing masters? Get lost, I was here first. If she's taking a new master, it's me. While they argue, Logan finally wriggles his way to my side. He says, smug as a petty villain, oh please, she turned down Ethan, and you think she'd take you? I blink, get to my feet, and look past Logan toward Ethan and Iris. For some reason, both their faces are very ugly. I don't know what happened, but I'm in a great mood as I ask Logan, what's wrong with them? They look constipated. Logan claps my shoulder. You drew heavenly lightning at core formation and smashed someone's legend of genius. Of course they're unhappy. I pause and glance at Ethan. He's the second child of fortune in 500 years. The 3 bolts of tribulation lightning he took at core formation caused a sensation across the cultivation world. I'd heard of it. How many bolts did I get? I ask at once. Logan starts counting. 1, 2, 3, 9. He emphasizes, a full 9. At that, Iris's face twists even more. I can't help laughing. I point at the 2 of them and raise my voice. There are many talented people in this world, but too bad, I'm not only more talented than Iris, I'm more talented than you, her master. The 2 of them? In a single day, my tribulation at core formation makes me a minor sensation in the Everlasting Sect, and with me, Logan also becomes famous. Disciples call the spectacle, Logan's rampage at Azure Wave Peak. It went like this. Once Logan sees me finish humiliating Iris, he suddenly plops down like a fishwife at the village gate and wails, "Damn you, Ethan. It's bad enough you kidnapped my precious disciple, but she has to suffer such humiliation on your Azure Wave Peak? You don't want her? But do you know how I treasure her? She's my heart and my liver, you bastards. Someone has to give me an explanation. Ethan has always been clear and aloof. This is the first time he's met someone so shameless. The veins in his temple jump like fleas. He grits his teeth for a long time before asking, "What do you want?" Logan sobs while holding up 5 fingers. This can't be solved for less than 50,000 top-grade spirit stones. For once, Ethan's composure cracks. He takes a deep breath, pulls out a pouch and flings it at Logan. Azure Wave Peak has money, but not enough to hemorrhage 50,000 at a time forever. I eye Ethan's money pouch and silently calculate how much he has left. Iris's eyes redden with rage, but there's nothing she can do. Right now, I'm the sect's darling, and Logan is stubborn as a mule. She can only look to Ethan, aggrieved. Master, woo-woo. Before she can finish, Ethan shoots her a cold look. In a sense, today's mess started with Iris. He does favor her, but he doesn't like troublemakers. Before, he'd thought her merely willful. Now that the trouble has singed his eyebrows, his indulgence melts away. Go back and reflect. Without my permission, you are not to come out. Leaving that order behind, Ethan departs in a hurry. Iris bites her lip. The tears in her eyes hang but don't fall. At last she shoots me a venomous glare. Seeing Logan off Azure Wave Peak, I casually ask him about the greatsword. As expected, he looks blank. There's more to it? I picked it up at the foot of the mountain. I knew it. After forming my core, I stay on Azure Wave Peak a few more days to cultivate. One night, I'm meditating when a tempting female voice calls, "Taoist friend, Taoist friend?" I open my eyes and see a dark red sword shadow standing before me, covered in complex runes. I almost blurt, "Greatsword?" "What a terrible name," the sword says. After a pause, she sighs, "Forget it, as long as you're happy." I stand, reaching to grab her, then remember Ethan saying she's a demon sword, and draw back. The sword snorts. "What are you afraid of? Do you actually believe that male cultivator?" "What do you mean?" He lied. "I'm no demon sword. I'm a divine sword that fell from the heavens to the demon realm during the Great Immortal Demon War 10,000 years ago. I absorbed too much demonic chi down there, so my last master sealed me. But my demonic taint is gone now. Remove the seals and I'll return to the world. With me in your hand, you'll be invincible." My eyes light up. "That powerful? Of course." She sounds smug. "Now that you've formed a core, your cultivation has risen, so you can see my sword soul and speak with me. But that male cultivator wants to destroy my soul. I can't hold out long. You must save me quickly." "Really?" "Of course it's real. Hurry and break the formation for me." "Oh." I flop back on my bed. "Why should I trust you? You think I'm 3? She zips around my bed in agitation, chattering nonstop. "No, seriously, I'm a divine sword, with a sword soul. If you don't trust me, who will you trust? We divine swords. Would we ever trick a little female cultivator like you?" I scratch my foot. "You said it yourself. I'm a little cultivator. What if you use me to break your seals, then turn on me?" She falls silent, then says through gritted teeth, "Fine. If you don't believe me, then form a life and death pact with me. If I'm telling the truth, you get a divine sword for free. If I'm lying, you can destroy my soul anytime." Half an hour later, a red light flashes and the life and death pact is formed. A red sigil appears at my brow, then fades. According to the greatsword, it only shows when I call her sword soul. But even if I want to help you, the formation belongs to Ethan. I can't beat him. That's easy. Her voice slips back into a seductive purr, smug again. "When he handled me, I sensed his true form as a spirit snake. I know that race. On the 15th of each month, their cold poison flares. Only the tempering of a scorching sun sigil can resolve it. When his poison flares, you just remove the sigil. The cold will ravage him and weaken his cultivation. I'll break the formation then." My eyes go wide. "Sister, are you trying to get me killed in one go?" She sighs. "That's already the easiest method. If not, you'll have to fight him and injure him first. I can work with that too. I'll see how I can get close to him on the 15th. Time slips by. The 15th comes quickly. Azure Wave Peak grows tense. That night, I boldly stride toward Ethan's room and get stopped at the door. "Miss Zhao, our immortal isn't receiving visitors today. Please come back another time." I blink. "I know. His cold poison's flaring. I know all about it. They exchange looks. How do you know that? That's not important. I lean in conspiratorially, whispering, you know cold poison can only be cured with opposing elements, right? We know. Immortal has the scorching sun sigil. That only warms the body, not the heart. That's why he called me here tonight. Ah? I swat them playfully, feigning shyness. Must I be so blunt? He wants me inside for some fiery passion. Understand? I push past. Move. Don't keep him waiting. And this is private. All right, don't spread it around. Before they recover, I slip inside. The inner rooms are hot. The closer I get to Ethan's chamber, the hotter it feels, scorching straight to the heart. No wonder, scorching sun sigil. I creep in and see him on the bed, drenched in sweat. Poison or heat, I can't tell. He's weak, senses dulled, apparently unaware of me. I pace around him, testing. He doesn't stir. Good. I stretch out a hand. Still nothing. Good. I peel back his robe. Sure enough, there's a sigil on his firm, pale waist. I bite my lip and rip it off. And nothing? That easy? I'm stunned. I stuff the sigil into my clothes, bow hastily to Ethan, and tiptoe back. Caught up in my glee, I miss the moment behind me when Ethan's eyes snap open. Those usually clear, cold eyes turn into chilling red slits. The next second, the world spins. I'm slammed onto the floor. My face is level with the bed. I get a full view of Ethan. His robe gapes open, revealing a hard, pale chest flushed with a faint red. His long black hair is loose and messy around him. He's barefoot, stepping slowly toward me. There's nothing of his usual distant grace, only a dangerous, decadent beauty. Ethan, can you hear me? Don't come any closer. I'll give the sigil back, all right? The pressure coming off him is suffocating. I wilt instantly and shakily hold out the sigil. He glances at it, his red-slitted eyes narrow, his lips curl in a soft laugh. Heh? He lifts his hand. The sigil in my grasp shreds to dust. I'm doomed. Outside, the two attendants eye the sandalwood door, worried. Something feels off. Do you think Miss Zhao lied to us? She wouldn't dare do anything to Immortal, would she? But what if? Before she can finish, they hear a series of crashes inside, followed by a trembling female voice. Ethan, don't. Woo, that hurts. Lighter, lighter. Ah, don't touch there. Are you a dog? I'll fight you. So cold, so cold. Move, you'll freeze me to death. The two attendants stare at each other in shock. So, Immortal is this fierce? We never would have guessed. The truth is, Ethan and I are locked in a struggle. He pins me beneath him, fingers clamped around my throat. His slit pupils glitter with icy mockery. Right now, Ethan doesn't seem human at all, but like a venomous snake. My face reddens, veins bulge. I'm on the verge of blacking out when the greatsword's soul flares into view. I've come to save you, she shouts. Then she rams straight into Ethan's head. It actually works. The red light fades from his eyes. He collapses. I grab the greatsword, shove it into my storage pouch, and stagger out. Behind me, the attendants look on with sympathy. Immortal really doesn't understand tender care. Look how he's left Miss Zhao. I keep a low profile on Azure Wave Peak for 2 days. Ethan seems completely normal. The greatsword sits on my bed, stroking her chin thoughtfully. He should remember that. Strange that he isn't after you. I'm dead-eyed. You sound disappointed he's not causing me trouble. She rubs against me ingratiatingly. New. I put a substitute in the formation. He won't notice for a while. But you should leave here soon just in case. I nod and go to find Ethan that afternoon to ask about leaving. But when I step outside, the once quiet Azure Wave Peak is decked with lanterns and banners, festive as New Year. Nothing this big is ever normal. Has his poison fried his brain? I ask an attendant, nervous. What's going on? She beams. You don't know? Immortal suddenly announced he's forming a cultivation partnership with Miss Iris. We're preparing a wedding. The news spreads through the Everlasting Sect like wildfire. Iris is ecstatic. She flaunts her Immortal's wife status everywhere, like she'd carve the words on her forehead if she could. She even comes to provoke me several times. I brush her off with vague indifference. Time passes. Soon it's not their wedding. The Secret Realm trial. Ethan's wedding matters, yes, but compared to a sect-wide trial, it has to wait. Their ceremony is postponed until after. By rule, all disciples below nascent soul must enter the Secret Realm. It doesn't matter if you're an Immortal's wife or not. On the day we enter, all cultivators gather in the plaza. Iris clings to Ethan's hand with teary eyes. Master, you must think of me. He pulls his hand away, face blank, gaze shifting, and lands on me. I flinch and tug my collar up. Damn him. The handprint on my neck from when he strangled me still hasn't faded. His eyes linger there before he frowns slightly. This doesn't escape Iris. Her eyes cloud with a thick darkness. She looks at me like she wants to tear me into pieces. Half a quarter of an hour later, a white light flashes before my eyes. I open them slowly. The wind chills my back, actually chills, because I'm hanging from a tree. Below is a still glowing formation. In its center, I glimpse Jason and Iris's faces. The two huddle together, furtive. Are you sure this teleportation formation works? Of course. It sends Isabella to the most dangerous place in the whole secret realm. Do you think she can come back alive from there? Beside me, the greatsword quivers. Where are we? I ask. A pause. The secret realm's core. 10,000 Beasts Valley. Even a random minor beast here is mid-nascent soul. Grass. A plant. Before I can start swearing, the tree I'm hanging from shudders. I look up into a pair of murky eyes. Ancient tree demon, the greatsword says. Conservative estimate, near soul transformation. What are the odds I can beat it? You should run. The moment she says it, I jump from the branch and bolt. Behind me, countless limbs lash like whips, smacking my backside several times. Then I suddenly turn and run the other way. What are you doing? The greatsword yells. You trying to die? Maybe look at what's ahead first, I shout back. She peeks out, then sucks in a breath. Ancient lizard demon. Late nascent soul. Shortly after, I wheel around again. Ancient snake demon, she says grimly, already in soul transformation. I'm about to cry. In less than half a stick of incense, how did I manage to attract so many ancient beasts? And that's not all, the greatsword says, gaze fixed on the distance. I have a bad feeling. Something worse is coming. The ground trembles. I lie down flat, expression blank. What are you doing? She demands. Waiting for death. Don't, there's still hope. Go back to that tree. Their formation can't last long. Half a quarter of an hour at most and it'll send you back. I stare at the darkening sky. You think I can last that long? A roar shakes the air. The world goes black. Rustling surrounds me. I lie there like meat on a board and am soon encircled. Countless beast eyes fix on me, hungry. I try talking. Everyone, listen. There are so many of you and only one of me. I'm hardly enough to share, and my cultivation's low. Eating me won't help you grow stronger. Any beast above nascent soul has intelligence. They can understand me, though that doesn't mean it benefits them to spare me. They don't answer. Their eyes lock instead on the greatsword in my hand. I understand at once. Oh, you want this? Then take it. I'll just be going. I hurl the greatsword as far as I can and sprint for the formation's center. Her voice tears at my ears. You damned Isabella, I'll hate you forever. Then her cries are drowned out by roars. As a divine sword, her attached spiritual energy is immense. The beasts can't resist her. But there are many beasts and only one sword. Who gets her? They'll have to fight. Before I reach the formation, the ground behind me rips with violence. The sky shudders. Several black shadows clash in the air, movements brutal and fast. Overflowing spiritual power floods the valley. I hesitate, then sit down and meditate. Danger and wealth walk hand in hand. With this much loose spiritual energy, not using it would be a crime. Soon a victor emerges. The tree demon falls first, then the lizard. The snake demon, badly injured, lies unmoving, barely able to flick its tail. Just then, golden light flares behind me. The teleportation array has restarted. I leap up, grit my teeth, and dart a look at the snake demon. Slapping a speed talisman on myself, I race into the battlefield and scoop up the greatsword. The snake hisses in fury, but it's too wounded to chase. I run a few steps, then turn back again. What are you doing? The greatsword screeches. Run, or do you want to wait for the other beasts to catch up? I say nothing. I ride my sword up to its 7-inch mark and ram the blade down. A deafening shriek follows. You're insane, the greatsword mutters. I don't answer. I bend, scoop up 3 beast cores, sling the greatsword across my back, and dive into the array. Outside 10,000 Beast Valley, Jason and Iris stroll along. Smug. After this long, that bitch Isabella must be dead, Iris says. Jason sounds uneasy. Wasn't this too cruel? What if the elders find out? Iris snorts. What are you scared of? I'm Ethan Shen's partner. What can they do? Blame Isabella. She dared approach my master and provoke me. She got what she deserved. No sooner are the words out, gold light flares behind them. I shoot out of the array. Fueled by fury, I plant my foot squarely on Iris's back and kick her 10 meters. Jason yelps, spins around, and opens his mouth to scream. My greatsword rests against his throat. You get 3 lines for last words, Jason blurts. How did you get out? This has nothing to do with me. Isabella, you'd attack a fellow sect member. His last word dies as I slice his throat. I flick the blood off my blade and turn expressionlessly to Iris. Your turn. The greatsword rises and hovers over Iris's head. She's terrified, voice breaking. Wasn't this sword sealed by Master? Why is it in your hands? Isabella, how dare you steal his sword? If Master finds out, you're dead. I step in front of her. Who else knows but you? Once you're dead, no one will. You want to kill me? No, you can't. Who do you think you are? What right do you have? If she were the tragic heroine right now, then I'd be the vicious side character. I know villains die from too much talking, so I channel the greatsword and stab straight down. Iris dies. Then Iris lives. I never thought Ethan would weave a heart-link bond with her. The moment she closes her eyes, the bond activates and we're both pulled back to the plaza. Ethan swats me away with a palm and gathers Iris up. His eyes on me are daggers of ice. Isabella Zhao, you attacked your sect mate and hid a demon sword. Do you admit your crimes? I spit blood, force myself upright, and laugh. Attacked my sect mate? Who attacked who first? Ethan, have you no shame? Your precious disciple can hurt me, but I can't fight back. You dare quibble? Ethan flicks a hand. A spell flies at me. I raise my sword to block and am blasted 3 meters away. I slam into the marble tiles. Other elders, unable to bear it, speak up. Jason Zhao died paying for trapping Isabella in 10,000 Beasts Valley. Iris wasn't harmed. Let it go. She is, after all, a child of fortune tempered by 9 bolts of lightning. Child of fortune? Ethan sneers and suddenly forms a sign. A loud hum fills the plaza. Behind me, the massive sky-reaching pillar rises from the ground. I can forgive her in emotion, but not in principle. If she willingly hands over the demon's sword and endures 10 lashes of the bone whip, I will spare her life. The bone whip. Just as the name suggests, it passes through flesh and lashes bone. I've heard other cultivators say the Everlasting Sect's bone whip is agony beyond words. A single lash enough to cost half a life. I'm bound to the pillar. People crowd around. Some elders still try to plead, but Ethan draws a black-purple whip without hesitation and steps before me. I'm badly hurt. Lifting my head takes effort, but facing death, somehow I can still smile. He looks at me coolly. What are you laughing at? At what a fool you are. His brows twitch. I thought that if I didn't take you as my master, I could avoid the fate mirror's future. Who knew I'd still die at your hands? But you'll regret this, Ethan. I promise you'll regret it. The fate mirror? What do you mean? I spit blood and lay it all out. You want to become lifelong partners with that blade of grass. But you'll live 10,000 years. She'll be lucky to live 100. Without immortal bones, you're doomed to part. Want to know how to give her immortal bones? He bites. How? I grin. Not telling. I plunge my hand into my storage pouch and, before he can react, crush the 3 beast cores. Black clouds roll across the sky. Wind shrieks. Lightning boils over my head. The elders all blanch. A tribulation? That's a tribulation? Nascent soul stage? No, not nascent soul. It's soul transformation. Even 1,000 years later, when cultivators recall this tribulation, 2 words still echo in their hearts. Utterly terrifying. The lightning comes for me, yes, but it's so vicious that everyone else is caught in its wake. To survive, they throw every defensive treasure they have overhead, while I, mid-breakthrough, can at least withdraw into my sea of consciousness. My body may be scorched, but they must face it head-on. They defend themselves and stare at me in horror. Jumping straight from core formation to soul transformation, what monstrous cultivation is this? Each of those 3 cores she crushed was late nascent soul at least. No wonder she could skip a realm. Terrifying. In 400 years, I've never seen such pressure from a tribulation. Ethan stares at the sky, face black as ink. After a moment, he wraps himself in a shield. He shelters Iris in his arms. She glares at me with hate and says, Master, we can't let her succeed. Kill her, please. He glances at her. Too late. Even he wouldn't dare charge into this storm. I don't know how long it takes. At last, I open my eyes and puff out a plume of black smoke. My body is charred from head to toe. The ropes binding me have burned away. I drop straight from the sky-reaching pillar. Halfway down, someone catches me. Logan hugs me and huffs like he's handling a blistering hot yam. Damn, you're hot? Trying to cook me? Still, he doesn't let go. I'm oddly moved. Master. Don't call me that, he says, looking at me deeply. You're qualified to be my master now. Back on the ground, I glance over at Ethan, and the whip in his hand that's snapped into several pieces. Well, that broke fast. Shoddy craftsmanship. Iris's eyes flame. Isabella, how dare you provoke my master? The tribulation's gone. Continue your punishment. I look at her coolly. And who are you to punish me? I'm Ethan Shen's partner. I can't help laughing. Partner? Forget you. Even if Ethan himself. I dig at my ear, ask him. What can he do to me now? Ethan stares at me, eyes complicated. It's true. My cultivation is still a step beneath his, but with my speed and talent I'll surpass him sooner or later. And in this world, cultivation is ultimate law. Even for an elder. Soon, the other elders crowd around. Someone like me, they're eager to recruit. I wipe the black ash from my hands and say flatly, I can stay, but I won't share a sect with them. Either I leave, or they do. I point my sword at Ethan and Iris. I'll give you 3 sentences to decide. Iris speaks first. Isabella Zhao, don't go too far. An elder adds, if it's scriptures or treasures you want, we can satisfy you. But Ethan has been with the Everlasting Sect so long, we can't do without him. Perhaps we can assign you a residence far from Azurewave Peak? 3 sentences done, I sheath my sword and nod. Got it. I turn to go. Ethan's eyes flash. You can leave, but the evil sword stays. Before I can react, he strikes. His hand goes for mine. My cultivation still trails his, and my combat experience is lacking. In 10 moves, the great sword is out of my grasp. My face goes cold. Ethan, I've already decided to quit the sect. You've no say over me. Give my sword back. The evil sword is bad for your path. I'm doing this for your own good. He shoots me a look and suddenly forces the sword soul out, about to destroy it on the spot. The sword soul cries out and streaks toward me instead, tearing open my storage pouch. A snake scale tumbles to the ground. Ethan's mask cracks. He stares at the scale, then at me and Iris, eyes wide. On the 15th, the person who entered my room. His voice is hoarse, disbelieving. Was it you, Isabella Zhao? I pick up the scale and give him a blank look. Who else? I'd yanked it from him when we fought, thinking his cultivation was high and I might forge some defensive treasure from it. I never expected this. Ethan suddenly lunges over and grabs my wrist. Wild-eyed. Why didn't you tell me? Why was it you? How could it be you? Is he insane? He laughs and cries and turns, unnerving me. Without warning, he raises a hand and pins Iris in the air. Master, she gasps. You lied, he says coldly. 1 word at a time. You lied. You weren't the one who came into my room that night. You didn't take my heart scale. You weren't the one who drew out my yang essence. Hold up. Something's off. Wait, I cut in quickly. We just fought. I didn't do anything else, especially not that. Don't pin that on me, especially something that damages my reputation. Ethan closes his eyes. I know. Then why say it like that? Do lies about other people's purity cost nothing? Look at my master, his face is green. Logan's fists crackle. You'd better explain. Ethan glances at me, then away. When he speaks again, the tips of his ears are red. We didn't join bodies, he says. But when you pulled my heart scale, you touched my body. I lost control, and my yang essence spilled. My mind was fogged, I didn't see clearly. I woke to find Iris and thought she... He trails off, but we get the picture. Everyone is stunned. We can do that? Ethan, we never thought you, so cold and ascetic, would be like this in private. I'm still processing the idea of Ethan losing control when he suddenly says, since the truth is clear, we should form a cultivation partnership and advance together. It'll benefit both our paths. My eyelid twitches. Wait, weren't you trying to kill me just now? How did we jump to partnering? Sir, explain the logic, please. Ethan sounds utterly reasonable. My yang essence spilled for you. You should take responsibility. And if I don't want to, who else do you have? He asks. If we partner, you won't have to leave the Everlasting Sect. I can apologize for the past, bit by bit. I stare at him, tempted to crack his skull and see what mush lies inside. I'll pass, thanks. He frowns. Why? You've been refusing me since the day you could have become my disciple. Why? You keep trying to kill me. What do you expect? We're talking on different frequencies entirely. I never meant to kill you, he insists. You erred, I punished. He stops suddenly. His gaze sharpens. The fate mirror. Softly, he says, you changed after you came out of it. And on the pillar, you mentioned the scene you saw. Isabella, what did you witness? It doesn't matter, I say, looking away. What matters is, Ethan, I don't want to partner with you. Your Iris is about to sob. Go to her. He glances back. The girl stands forlornly behind him. Master, you don't want me anymore? He sighs, but his eyes hold no ripple. Sometimes I think he's strange. If he likes Iris, why is there nothing in his gaze? If he doesn't, why break his own bottom lines for her? He turns back. I understand. Understand what? He faces the elders. Open the fate mirror. I'm going in. I'll see for myself what Isabella saw. The elders blanch. You mustn't. With his cultivation, if he enters, he will definitely see far more than is safe. But prying into heaven's secrets rarely ends well. If what he sees differs from his wishes, obsession may brew, a heart demon, deadly to cultivation. But his mind is set. As soon as the fate mirror opens, he leaps in. Before entering, he grips my hand. Wait for me, he says confidently. I'll be back. Wait for him? I watch him vanish into the mirror, then calmly scoop up my storage pouch and the greatsword. Only an idiot would wait. I turn and run. In a desert of flying sand, Ethan's soul form opens his eyes with difficulty. He floats above, watching a thin, slight girl face a sea of beasts, one sword in hand. She's almost throwing her life away as she seizes the Demon King's core and hands it to the waiting cultivators. Her voice is hoarse. Save my master. Save, master. Then the beasts swallow her. She survives only by clinging to that dark red sword, her immortal body corroded by demonic chi. With sheer will, she reshapes a body from that chi and finally escapes the demon realm. But the master she nearly died to save, Ethan himself, runs her through. They call her Demon Girl. Eyes wet, she begs Ethan to spare her. He watches himself cut out her core with his own hands. Her bright, lively eyes close. Behind them, Iris smiles, exultant. At last, I've got her core. Ah, such power. Oh, Ethan, you idiot. You really thought I loved you? Don't you know it wasn't me who took your yang in the cold room? It was that fool Isabella? Too bad. You'll never be together. The fate mirror spits Ethan out with a hum. He crashes to the ground. Helpers rush up. He waves them off. I'm fine. Iris scurries over, sniffling. Master, you're back. I was so scared. Her words die as a sword pierces her chest. Ethan drives a spell down the blade in one strike. Iris drops, disbelief on her face, never understanding why Ethan killed her. When she hits the ground, Ethan sways and coughs out a mouthful of blood. One girl and one sword. Carrying the great sword, I wander aimlessly. Master, the great sword says suddenly. My eyelid twitches. Whenever she calls me that, she's plotting something crooked. No time. Don't try to trick me. She sighs. Well, if you won't go, you won't. The Demon King's core would help you ascend, but it's not easy to get. I knew it. The damned great sword knows exactly how badly I want to raise my cultivation, march back to the Everlasting Sect, drag that weed out, and whip it 800 times. Yet she tempts me like this. Where is it? I grind out. Take me. Yellow sand fills the sky. I chop the head off a giant ant demon, spit grit, and swear. Damn Demon King. Is he a turtle? I've killed how many underlings and he's still hiding? When I find him, I'll tie him up with his own whiskers and kick him around the floor. The earth rumbles. Good news. The Demon King appears. Bad news. He's very, very angry. The great sword and I look at each other. Run, she signals. Run where? I grip my sword and face the Demon King head-on. He outclasses me by far, but my soul transformation isn't for show. As we fight, I grab every chance to steal lesser beasts' cores. One gain after another, I grow stronger. There's even a faint feeling of another breakthrough. The Demon King clearly doesn't expect this. After a moment's thought, he turns to flee, like I'd let him. I slice my finger, smear blood on the blade, and unleash one last attack. The sky clears, the sand drops. I dig his core from his body and exhale, shaking. That fight drained me. I can barely stand. Just then, footsteps sound nearby. Is the Demon King really here? The weather. This can't be right, can it? Relax. Once we take his core back, Immortal Ethan will be saved. I miss the rest. Darkness takes me. When I awake, I'm in a massive altar. Yes, an altar. Complex runes ring the floor. I lie in the center. Before me, Ethan sleeps. The other elders sit at 8 cardinal points, faces grave as they stare at me. Expressionless, I sit up. What's this? They look at me with forced pity. Isabella, don't blame us. Ethan's cold poison has reached his bones. Without the Demon King's core, he won't last. We had no choice. I test the barrier and feel my spiritual power draining away. This has nothing to do with me, I say. The core is in you, they say, and you're a child of fortune. With your blessing, Ethan will live and keep the Everlasting Sect standing. We lose nothing and gain much. Once the ritual ends, you'll only lose your cultivation and become mortal, but Ethan will live. For the sect's sake, sacrifice yourself. I almost laugh. Why? They frown in confusion. I roll the core in my palm and smile. Why should I sacrifice for you? Why shouldn't you all die for me instead? What do you mean? I ignore them. And you think this little altar can hold me? I thought I only hated Ethan and that damned weed. Turns out, no one in the Everlasting Sect deserves forgiveness. So, I crush the core. You can all die. Golden light lances into the sky. At once, a purple-black canopy crashes down. My third tribulation is coming, I say softly, rising and spreading my arms. The first time, Ethan tried to kill me. The second, I nearly died because of you. Let's see how you handle the third. A bolt of lightning, as thick as a man's waist, crashes down. Even 1,000 years later, when cultivators talk about this tribulation, fear shadows their voices. They call it divine punishment. 23 waist-thick bolts fall. Every single member of the Everlasting Sect dies, except me. Sword in hand, its seals fully shattered, the great sword glows with a dark red light as I walk slowly down from the altar. Who should I kill first? Smiling, I move among the elders. My blade rises and falls, blood stains the altar red. 7 days later, no one is left. Everyone in the Everlasting Sect who ever harmed me, directly or indirectly, is dead. By the end, the sect lies in ruins. I stand atop the rubble, the great sword in hand, facing the breaking dawn. Bathed in the first light of day, I smile down at the dazed cultivators still alive below. From this day on, there is no Everlasting Sect. They stare, stunned. Not far away, Logan lounges on a boulder, chin in hand, chewing a stalk of grass as he smiles. With no Everlasting Sect, he says, from now on I only answer to Isabella Zhao. He waves his hand, and vanishes like mist. I blink. Then, I don't know who starts it, but everyone suddenly falls to their knees. They bow to me like worshippers before a god. From now on, you are our sect master. There is no Everlasting Sect, we only serve Isabella Zhao. Please instruct us, sect master. I sheath my sword and look at them. After a long moment, I laugh softly. All right,